Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And today we are going to talk about how the fall of intelligence is just continuing to plummet. And, well, intelligence is plummeting. Let's put it that way. So today we're going to be talking about this creator, Brittany Venti. With that kind of name, you wonder if they're actually American or not, but if they are, then they should understand everything we are saying. So let's get into this and actually get this over and done quickly if we can.
Toddler-fied weeaboos nowadays. That is the default weeaboo. It's a bunch of fucking toddlers that like bright colors and noises. I can't take it anymore. Modern anime is kind of cringe, to be honest. Like, I think I grew up loving anime and wanting to utilize it for all of my aesthetic. And that was my frame of reference for like what's beautiful, what's aesthetic, what's interesting. So I'm just very disappointed to see what normies have turned it into, and then they have the fucking audacity to call people like me the tourist. I'm the tourist. I was here first. I tried to get into anime again, guys. As you know, I grew up watching old school anime in the 90s, early 2000s era, Toonami, all the good stuff that didn't sound like a toddler dying, you know? You weren't embarrassed to show it to someone. And where they actually drew the anime and it looked nice and they actually painted the backgrounds. I've watched some like 2005 to 2010s anime. I watched a decent amount as well. And I tried to get it back into it because everyone's...
Yeah, and she's very going deep into the details here. You can already see the red flags popping up, everybody.
Like, calling me a tourist? I've been watching anime before they were fucking born. They're calling me a tourist, by the way. Because I'm saying, like, fan service nowadays is cringe and has no taste. There's a difference between sexy or, like, sexual humor and just, like, boing, boing, boing. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It has to be funny. If it's not funny, it doesn't get a pass, okay? Call me a prude. I don't care. I don't care anymore at this point. Everyone gets called a prude if you don't watch porn these days. Whatever. Yeah, I watched Outlaw Star. It was alright. Anyway, the animation's nice. Anyway.
Actually, not watching adult content doesn't make you a prude. It's how you behave with certain things in the real world that makes you a prude, such as if you kiss your partner in front of someone else and that person who is witnessing it overreacts and goes on a tangent about you having to do that behind closed doors. That is what we call a prude. And the prudish are many in number while being obnoxious at the same time.
So I tried to dip my toe into some modern anime again. I have a little list of anime that I'm gonna try, right? And so I try to watch Mao. Mao is basically the modern Inuyasha. It's a Rumiko anime. It's by the same studio as Yashahime, right? Not the Chinese Communist Party chairman, but the anime Mao. So I'm gonna show you guys some photos of it. You know, it looks nice. Like I don't really care for the girl's character design, right? She's like really short hair, whatever. But you know what? Rumiko makes women look cute because she makes their face cute. And the guy essentially looks like Inuyasha. He looks like his cousin or something. And you really see it throughout the anime. So I was interested in it because I wanted to kind of relive that. I've watched Inuyasha like 3 times. So I go to watch it, and mind you, I have the manga as well. I have the first like 8 of the manga. And it was like whatever when I was reading it. I was like, maybe it'll like get better with time investment. I don't know. And so I go to watch the anime, and I watched till episode 6. So I'm on episode 2, and so the premise of this anime, it's very similar to Inuyasha in that there's a time skip, like as in she's going back and forth from the present to the past through a portal. In Inuyasha, it's a well. And I noticed a lot of repeated themes in this anime where she's retelling the same story again. She'll use like the guy with his face bandaged. They did that in Inuyasha, where it's like, oh, the prince was actually replaced by a demon, or like the spider person where they have the silk and they're all dangling from it and dying. And I thought that was interesting. But here's the part that pissed me off. So this girl, she's actually secretly like part demon, whatever. She's fucking cursed. And this guy, he's like 900 years old, the Inuyasha copy. He's cursed as well. And he's trying to find the demon who cursed both of them. That's essentially what's going on. And you find that out pretty early in the anime. And I'm watching, and mind you, Inuyasha the reason it was such a good anime is because it was passionate. Inuyasha was like a tsundere, and you never saw that with male characters.
And considering what she's talking about, you can tell what art styles she is more into. She's into Inuyasha and Mao or whatever, their art style. She really likes that. And I mean, that's not a big deal, but it's not the only art style out there. You can't expect every anime in existence to be the same as the anime from the 90s and possibly the 80s, if there was any in the 80s. It's the art styles change and they branch off into different art styles, and anime evolves and changes over time.
And it made him unique, and he's like very abrasive, and it's funny, and it's a funny dynamic. This nigga has no passion. Mao, why is it giving me an ad? Okay, before it opens up porn or something. I am legally obtaining this, okay? Anyway. So this is him. So I'm gonna skip to the part that pissed me off. Wait for it. So she's stuck in the web. She's stuck and she needs to be saved, right? Already it's a little corny. It feels more like a kid show, which I don't like. So she's being choked out, and she needs help. So she's going demon mode, but she doesn't have full control over this yet. She's just found out she's part demon, okay? He sees her choking, about to die. Look at his reaction. He just cut through the webs. Got to her, right? Watch his reaction. She's being strangled. Are you going to just watch? My sword could hardly cut through the thread. There's no way I could sever it. I can't. He literally just gives up. She's still being choked this whole time. He's just watching. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, my blade is dull after cutting one cobweb. Sorry. What do you mean you couldn't cut through it? You just cut through the spider webs. The most nonchalant nigga I've ever seen. Oh, I guess I'll have to let her die then. And so what happens afterward is she breaks out of it herself. She has to break out of it herself. And that's how she survives, because she is not in control of her demon mode stuff yet, and she manages to power up and break through it. So literally she would have just died. He's just sitting there watching. He is so nonchalant the whole anime so far. He is so fucking boring. I can't believe it. I cannot believe that Rumiko would write such a boring character. He is just bland. He is like milquetoast. Yeah, I know it's like Rumiko loves her little like friends at first slow burn romance. That's fine. I love a slow burn romance. But this is ridiculous. He couldn't even try. If that were Inuyasha, he would have busted in, even while in the beginning where he was like fighting with Kagome and he's like, I don't care about humans, whatever. He would have like slashed through Iron Reaver Soul Stealer through that fucking cobweb. Inuyasha on episode like 5 is fighting Sesshomaru with a rusty ass blade, a whole ass demon dog to protect Kagome. And he doesn't even like her. He's like being an asshole to her. This is modern anime. It's like watered down, it's childish, and then like when it's not childish, it's just porn. Let's see if I can find the episode that I'm talking about with Inuyasha, just to give some perspective.
You ain't got a chance.
So I should
if anime is really so boring for you, why don't you quit watching anime and watch something else that's more your speed? Or how about just pick up a book and read it, and maybe you'll enjoy a book better than you do anything on TV. So many options out there to entertain yourself. You don't need visual entertainment in the sense of watching a show. These people, lack of logic is so saddening.
Just give up hope?
What are you doing? You're not crying, are you? No crying!
Oh, should I laugh?
No, you should shut up and let me protect you!
Look at his rusty ass sword. He's about to fight his brother who's a whole ass dog demon.
Let's get it over with.
With his dinky sword, okay? What a difference, right? The other one's just so like, whatever. I guess I can't help her. Oh, you just hate new things. Is it really? Is it really that I just hate new things? Or is it that everything is worse now? It had aura, it had music, it looked better, it had more care, it had more character, the dynamic was more interesting, it was funny. That was just one clip. And it was infinitely more entertaining and funny. I showed the same amount of Mao. And that's supposed to be like a high tension scene. The protagonist is about to die. I felt raped. I felt raped watching 6 episodes of Mao. No.
Over exaggeration. Clearly this one really likes filling in those stereotypes, huh? I think we all know what kind of stereotypes she's really putting out there, right?
No showing how good anime can be. And I don't know if I can do what I did with Yashahime again and like stomach through it just for the sake of it because I like Rumiko. I can't do it. I don't think I can. Like, why did anime that's coming of age anime back then feel more adult than anything that comes out now? Why? Everyone's overstimulated. That's partially the reason. And they've been groomed to want these things because they need dopamine hit after dopamine hit after dopamine hit. There's a right and wrong way to do it. Like Yu Yu Hakusho is good. Why can't we get stuff like
Groomed is the wrong term. It's more like people are indoctrinated or brainwashed or adapted to short form content and stuff like that. That's why you see so many shorts on like YouTube, TikTok, all these different places. You see short videos because people have lowered attention spans, at least here in the United States. In other countries, you see people with much higher attention spans than Americans have. And it's not really dopamine that people get when they're watching TV. I will look that up here in a second, but I'm pretty sure it's not primarily dopamine people get from watching a show that they enjoy or get satisfaction from when it comes to entertainment.
that again? Why is it all just like pornographic bullshit that's surface level with no depth, no real humor? I'm not laughing at new anime. It's not entertaining to me. I'm not getting anything out of it except disappointment. Yeah, Free Rent is on my list. I heard it was really good and not just like fan service all the time. And it's like, to me, the word fan service, it should be more like, oh, the author is writing something that's meaningful and good. And it just means porn. Fan service just means porn. Like, I don't go into anime to want to masturbate. I don't get it. Imagine living life like this. Imagine living life. This is what I was saying in my Discord. Okay, imagine you are going to watch like a movie. You're ready to like...
Imagine living life not knowing that most anime out there was primarily made for the male audience, and eventually over time women joined in and watched anime because they liked it, and eventually anime became mainstream or is still becoming mainstream, so everyone watches it and likes it. It's not really a lack of I think it's just a lack of understanding here, probably. And as I was saying before, dopamine is important, but it is not the single main thing people get from entertainment. Entertainment produces a whole experience involving attention, emotion, memory, imagination, stress, relaxation, and social connection. Dopamine mainly contributes to anticipation and motivation, learning and prediction, and salience, which is marking a scene, character, joke, or revelation as worth paying attention to. That is different from dopamine simply being a pleasure chemical. Researchers often separate reward into wanting, liking, and learning. Dopamine appears especially important for wanting and learning, while pleasure itself depends on broader brain networks and chemicals, including endogenous opioid systems. So, yeah, and as for the stuff she's saying is just pornographic and stuff, that's not actually what it is. Fan service has been around since the beginning, and it's not pornography. That would be hentai, not anime. Anime is not allowed to have hentai in it, and there's a clear distinction between hentai and anime. While there is more extreme anime that are basically hentai, like Redo of Healer and certain others out there, they're basically just hentai, not anime anymore. Then yes, it's that's one thing. But anime itself, no, it's not hentai. It's not something people just pause and whack off to. That's not how that works. So let's continue.
like wind down watching a movie. You wanna sit down and
And by the way, yes, there are people that do it, but they are not the majority. They are definitely not the majority. The majority of people watch anime for the entertainment, not for just the fan service and stuff.
You want to be entertained. And then they just throw some scene in there for you to whip out your and jerk off. Like, you don't find that to be a little disturbed that that's what's normalized in media is like it's made to make you pause to have to jerk off. It's so fucking weird. Even if you're the type where you're like, you know what, Brittany,
Doesn't it make you just as disturbed that what's normalized in media is men and women complaining about things that don't matter in the world instead of things that actually do matter in the world? Doesn't that normalization kind of make you sick and disgusted with the human race or anything? No? I didn't think so.
I'm single and I jerk off to things, whatever. Okay, but here's the difference. I'm trying to explain this to you. You have person A, where they goon out to things, right? But when they sit down and watch a movie, they're watching the movie. They're not unzipping their pants midway through. And then person B is willing to watch a show and then like an animal, they have no self-control over themselves and they just have to jerk it because there's titties just boing 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 all over the screen for the sake of it. Not for humor, not for like it's not sexy like Cowboy Bebop sexy. It's just
Considering she's only talking about men this way because only men are able to jerk it, I'm starting to think that she really hates men. And I understand where she's coming from in that sense because she's probably been a target of a lot of different types of men, among other things, but you can't overgeneralize and blame all men for everything and say all men are bad, say all men are this or that, but we can say that all humans are responsible for the drama and nonsense that the world has today.
obnoxious and loud. I just can't imagine living life like that. I can't imagine being such a slave. Things can be sexy. It doesn't have to be pornographic. It doesn't have to be obnoxious. It doesn't have to be, even if it's coming of age stuff, it doesn't have to be boring. But I'm a prude for saying, God forbid there should be some pace, right? They're segregating the time where it's like, okay, this is the time for this media that's intended to be porn. It's like their purpose, they're turning into like one thing, and then that's helping normalize pornography. Because it's not, oh, it's like sexy. It's not, oh, it's sexy Cowboy Bebop style. No.
The normalization of pornography is not bad either. You will see in my previous video that the normalization of pornography is actually not proven to be as harmful as the normalization of, let's say, violence, for example. While I don't have the statistics and stuff in that video, I will explain it here. The normalization of violence, like physical violence against people, is much more measurably harmful than the normalization of pornography. So there you go on that.
It's like there's no purpose other than we're putting porn here. Like there's no other real purpose with these modern animes. Like there's a way to make.
And I'm surprised at her at thinking that showing your chest is somehow pornography. And how a man showing his chest is not considered pornography. Double standard much?
Make stuff sexy without making it like so obnoxious and like toddler. It's like toddler shit. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with this toddler bullshit. It's immature. That's really what it is. Like if something is humorous, I'll give it a pass. But it's almost as if they're trying to get kids to watch it and get hooked on it. And it comes across as very nefarious to me. Even though to other people, they're like, wow, like it's so happy, bling bling. It's like, to me, I'm seeing.
Where in the world are these anime that are predominantly sexual and stuff like that in nature being advertised for specifically children? Where is the advertisement saying that they are specifically for children and that they are specifically advertising it for children? From what I understand, they're advertising any anime that has a ton of fan service, like showing chests and stuff like that, for people that are like 16 and up or 13 and up. They are not. And when you're 16 and up, you're basically not really a child anymore, depending on who you are. And child is very subjective, and she's probably using the legal term, in which case we have ratings on what the anime is supposed to be for a reason, like how video games have M for mature, those are for specific ages and up, and some video games have E for everyone, so anyone can enjoy them. Like, we have ratings for all this stuff, and the fact that she doesn't quite grasp that is a little odd, to say the least.
The nefarious intent. That's what I'm seeing. but I'm not seeing tasteful. I'm not seeing interesting. I'm not seeing funny. I'm not seeing any of that. I'm not seeing art. I'm seeing slop. I'm seeing anime slop. Modern anime has become anime slop. And everyone's eating it up. Eating that slop up. Grazing on it. Yeah, I think anime has been toddlerified. It's for toddlers now. That's the reality of it, and I'm grieving. I am grieving my culture that has now died. I know it's like Japanese, it comes from Japan, whatever, but you have to understand, we had Toonami, and I was like the first generation of weeaboos. I was part of that first gen, and it consumed a lot of my teenage years. So I'm seeing a part of like that Americanized 4chan culture get toddlerified, and I'm grieving. I am grieving my culture dying. I'm grieving the normization, not normalization, normization of my culture, and it hurts to watch. Like I am mourning the death of what I enjoyed growing up. That's how I feel. It is that serious for me. I'm being raped. Anime now has no fucking aura. Zero. I am seeing none. I can't take it seriously. All I hear are little baby noises and bright colors. That's all I fucking see now from anime. And porn being thrown in. The lowest common fucking denominator is appealed to. Like I really am beginning to have such a hatred for weeaboos. As someone who grew up a weeaboo, I have hatred for the modern weeaboo. You guys have raped everything I love. Like they're so fucking annoying and obnoxious. And it's like I said, if you can be an anime fan with taste, that's something different. If you're humorous, I'll let it slide. But there are so many obnoxious, annoying, tasteless, toddler-fied weeaboos nowadays. That is the default weeaboo. It's a bunch of fucking toddlers that like bright colors and noises. I can't take it anymore. They have destroyed it and turned it into children's shows. But worse, because even children's shows back in my day that were airing were more mature than this bullshit they're watching. Tell me why SpongeBob is more mature than modern anime. There's no fucking excuse. What is happening? Why do you guys need these bright flashing colors and boing boing noises and implant round bowling ball tits? Boing 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 boing. I woke up as a horse and I need to be ripped to be healed. Boing boing boing. Are you fucking for real? But I'm the weird one. I'm the weird one. God forbid you say the modern anime is cheap garbage. Oh my god, you just personally attacked me. I'm allowed to dislike what I want. Would you let people enjoy things? Okay, I enjoy hating. I'm a hater. I don't like it. I'm allowed to have my opinion. I'm allowed to dislike it. And if you want to personally feel like your life is over because you feel personally attacked that I said most modern anime is cheap garbage, then maybe take another look at your life and assess why your whole personality is based off of cheap garbage. You can't criticize Japan. You can't criticize my anime waifus.
Okay. We basically heard all that. All right, let's dive into that. So Brittany's video establishes that she strongly dislikes much of modern anime she has encountered. But it does not establish that modern anime as a whole has objectively become toddler slop, as she calls it. Her argument repeatedly moves from personal reactions such as, I am not laughing, I am not entertained, I do not like this character, to universal claims about artistic quality, the maturity of audiences, and the intentions of creators whose conclusions require evidence that the video does not provide. Her interpretation of the spiderweb scene in Mao demonstrates the problem. Mao says that his sword could barely cut through the thread and that he cannot sever the strand restraining Nanoka. Brittany transforms this into the sarcastic claim that his sword somehow became dull after cutting one cobweb. That is not what the character says. The actual dialogue distinguishes the webbing he managed to pass through from the stronger thread directly restraining Nanoka. She says Mao couldn't even try, although he had already used the sword against the webbing to reach her and was assessing the result of that attempt. Nanoka's eventual escape is not an accidental replacement for a missing rescue scene. It reveals that she possesses abnormal blood, strength, and compatibility with Mao's cursed sword. These revelations are part of the central mystery connecting her to Mao and the curse affecting them. The scene can still be criticized. Mao appears unusually passive while Nanoka is being strangled, and the direction could have communicated greater urgency or explained the different strength of the threads more clearly. That is legitimate criticism of staging. It is different from claiming that Mao could effortlessly rescue her refused to try and had no reason for his behavior. Comparing him to Inuyasha does not prove otherwise. Inuyasha is impulsive, aggressive, and emotionally expressive. Mao is deliberately written as reserved, aloof, and analytical. Different protagonists are not required to react identically merely because Rumiko Takahashi created both of them. The appropriate question is whether Mao behaves consistently with Mao's established characterization, not whether he behaves like Inuyasha. Brittany also compares an emotional Inuyasha scene built around protecting Kagome with a Mao scene built around revealing Nanoka's supernatural abilities. Showing clips of approximately equal length does not make their narrative purposes equivalent. Her preference for the Inuyasha scene is valid, but this scene entertained me more is not objective proof that the other scene is badly written. Both Inuyasha and Mao are Shonen Sunday properties rather than works formerly marketed as shoujo or josei, and Inuyasha achieved broad appeal by combining action, romance, comedy, and strong emotional relationships. Brittany is entitled to wish that Mao recreated that balance. She is not entitled to treat that preference as a universal rule requiring every subsequent Takahashi protagonist to be another Inuyasha. Her fan service criticism contains the same subjective to objective leap. She explicitly says that sexual material only gets a pass when she personally finds it funny. That is a personal standard. Her failure to laugh proves that a joke failed for her. It does not prove that nobody finds it funny or that it has no identifiable purpose. Fan service also does not exclusively mean adult or sexual content. It broadly means material included to please fans, although sexual imagery is one common form. Sexual fan service may exist for titillation, comedy, spectacle, marketing, or gratification of an intended audience. Brittany can consider those goals shallow or argue that they damage a particular story, but saying I dislike its purpose is not the same statement as it has no purpose. Her claims about the audience are even less supported. She imagines viewers pausing anime because they cannot control themselves and describes them as slaves to sexual content. No evidence is offered showing how viewers actually behave. This is mind reading and personal insult rather than media analysis. The claim of nefarious intent is more serious. Brittany suggests that creators may be deliberately using childish presentation and sexual imagery to hook children, establishing that would require evidence about the target audience, marketing decisions, production intentions, and actual effects on children. She offers none. She simply interprets colorful or exaggerated presentation as childish and then assumes that the presence of sexual content reveals a deliberate scheme. Her larger conclusion about modern anime is based on an undefined sample. She discusses 6 episodes of Mao, mentions having read several manga volumes, refers generally to Yashahime, and admits that she has not yet watched at least one prominent modern series she has heard is good. From that incomplete selection, she declares that everything is worse, nothing has depth, and modern anime has no real humor. That is a hasty generalization. Modern anime is an enormous medium containing works for children, teenagers, and adults across action, drama, romance, horror, comedy, and experimental genres. The existence of weak, formulaic, or sexualized modern series cannot establish that the entire modern medium, or even most of it, shares those characteristics without representative evidence. The comparison is also distorted by nostalgia. Brittany compares memorable older works such as Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Cowboy Bebop with whatever current production she happens to encounter. Older mediocre anime has largely fallen out of cultural memory, while weak current anime remains visible because it is currently being released. A series comparison would apply the same criteria to equivalent examples from both periods. Her repeated use of toddler, slop, tourist, and tasteless does not compensate for that missing analysis. It poisons the well by portraying disagreement as evidence that the other person is immature. Her claim that she was present first is also irrelevant to whether her conclusions are correct. Length of participation in a fandom does not transform taste into objective authority. She ultimately retreats to saying that she is allowed to have an opinion. Of course she is, but nobody is denying her the right to dislike modern anime. The issue is that she presents personal dislike as proof that audiences are psychologically damaged. Creators have nefarious intentions, and an entire medium has culturally collapsed. Those are claims about reality, and they remain open to criticism. The most accurate conclusion from her video is not that modern anime has objectively become slop. It is that Brittany prefers older, emotionally expressive, broad appealing series, dislikes aloof protagonists and overt sexual comedy, and feels alienated by changes in anime fandom and production aesthetics. Those feelings are real, but they do not constitute objective evidence that her tastes are the correct standard for every anime or every viewer. Calling the video knowingly dishonest would require proof of her private intent. What can be demonstrated is that her presentation is selective and sometimes rhetorically disingenuous. She replaces Mao's actual explanation with a weaker and more ridiculous version, treats incomparable scenes as equivalent, assigns motives to creators and audiences without evidence, and retreats to personal opinion after making broad factual claims. Whether that comes from deliberate bad faith, nostalgia, confirmation bias, or simple misunderstanding cannot be known from the video alone. So her interpretation ignores the scene's internal logic, then uses personal taste and selective comparisons to make claims far beyond what her evidence establishes. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with lack of objectivity here, and lack of critical thinking. We're looking at someone here who is operating on emotions, nostalgia, and all this other drama nonsense that is completely irrelevant to her claims, because she doesn't back up her claims. And yes, she has every right to have criticisms and dislike stuff and all this stuff, but she doesn't have the right to not be criticized, ridiculed, or corrected on what she perceives is wrong or bad or blah blah blah. She does not have the right to be free from criticism, to be free from correction, to be free from ridicule. She does not have the right to that, because none of us do. And she has the right to say what she wants, have her opinions and all that stuff. But those of us who are actually intelligent, who actually have critical thinking and actually look into stuff, have every right to correct her and be against her in these matters. So have a good day, everyone. Make sure you develop some critical thinking skills if you don't have them, and do your research on stuff. Don't become like this person who doesn't do any research. They just go off emotions and feelings instead of objective facts and logic. Yeah, so have a good day. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want. I will not try to convince you to. That is totally your choice.